Welcome back to New Orleans, everyone. This halftime report brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. Today's game brought to you by Wright and Percy Insurance. By Luba, Workmen's Compensation for Louisiana. By Parish National Bank, member FDIC. By Bell South and the real Yellow Pages from Bell South. By Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana. The St. Aug Marching 100 is on the field. Ronnie, this band has accepted an invitation to participate in the 2002 Rose Bowl Parade in Los Angeles, one of only 10 high school bands in the country to be invited to that prestigious event.
Well, the Marching 100, one of the most famous high school bands in all the land. They put on a show, and we're going to give you a little bit of a listen here on the Blue Cross and Blue Shield halftime show.
Well, you see the St. Aug Marching 100, a band that already has accepted an invitation to participate in the 2002 Rose Bowl Parade in Pasadena, California. It's halftime. West Monroe leads 10-0 over St. Aug, a defensive-dominated football game. Ronnie, an early turnover with the middle linebacker Jackson running it back about 70 yards to get it into a point-blank range. West Monroe was repelled, got the field goal, and then later in the second quarter, the touchdown pass. Let's take a look at the numbers here in the first half with West Monroe pitching the shutout.
Well, in the first downs, St. Aug came out in the first quarter and hung with them, but West Monroe leads 10-6 passing yards. Most of that St. Aug passing came on one big play in the first quarter. Rushing, you see West Monroe, they're going to pound the football. They average over 220 yards a game. Rushing, they're right on pace for that. On offense, St. Aug does have a decent number of 114 yards total offense, but the big turnover on that interception in the first quarter is why they have no points. And that big turnover right there is really the difference in the ball game, because if you take that turnover away, Lynn, it's 7-0 West Monroe. But I think, you know, the Rebels, the way they control the clock and play good defense, could be awfully difficult for the Purple Knights to come back and be able to outscore West Monroe by 10 points.
Well, you talked about the turnover, Ronnie. It's nothing new for the Rebels this year, as coming into the ball game, they had 49 takeaways against only 23 giveaways. So a plus 26 in the turnover ratio. That's incredible when you think about it over 13 games. +2 average in each game you played this year.
Well, you know, the turnovers is really the name of the game. I mean, you know, you got to, if you can get a lot of turnovers and make West Monroe in a +2+ ratio where they get 2 more turnovers than their opponents, well, it gives you more opportunities with the football. And when you've got an offense that can run or throw like West Monroe's did when we saw the stats, well, you know, that usually means you're going to win the football game. So, you know, St. Aug, they've got an opportunity in the second half to come out and maybe force the issue. They're going to have to try to get some issues and get some turnovers.
Well, the Rebels have played very good defense early in ball games this year. They've given up only 13 points now in 14 first quarters. And generally, the fourth quarter is when they give up more points than any other quarter. But a lot of that is because the games have already been put away. They have been very, very solid statistically in each of the quarters. They really don't have a breakdown. Third quarters have been pretty good for West Monroe as well, offensively, after coming out of the locker room and making some adjustments.
Now the youngster at quarterback for Jason Burns for St. Aug is only a junior, but he's going to have a big second half if St. Aug's going to want to win this football game. And we heard it earlier from West Monroe that they're going to have to throw the ball downfield. West Monroe knows it. Can they do something about it? Can they stop St. Aug?
West Monroe fans are hoping that they'll be making that trip down to New Orleans for 2 weeks in a row. If that's the case, they'll meet Shaw in the Superdome as the St. Aug band continues to perform. You see part of this large crowd. Right now, Doug Greengard has a special guest on the sideline, Mark Morial. Doug?
Thank you, gentlemen. What a great afternoon. And going into the evening for football, joining me right now is the New Orleans Mayor, Mark Morial. You're a big football fan, and you love high school football.
Love high school football and love Tad Gormley Stadium. And this is a great game between two well-coached teams and two teams with a lot of great athletic ability. Of course, the home team today is the St. Augustine Purple Knights, and I'm rooting for them. But this is a great competition, a wonderful crowd, and I just think this is a great game for the families of New Orleans.
So many great events come to this city, and this is a special event in itself. Great to have it right here in this city today.
You know, Tad Gormley Stadium, where we are, has undergone substantial renovations in the last 10 years, and this is a brand new grass field. And I remember being here early in the season hoping that it would hold up through the many, many games, and it's held up well. So amongst the many special events, this one is very special because it's high school football, nothing like it.
New Orleans Mayor Mark Morial, thanks for joining us. Back upstairs to you guys.
Doug, don't hold me to this, but if I'm not mistaken, he is an alumnus of St. Aug. I thought I read that somewhere. Yeah, he is a St. Aug alumnus among many successful folks who have passed through that very heralded school. It's been around a long time, Ronnie, and has a national reputation.
Well, you talk about St. Aug, and you know they have had a number of players play in the NFL, and you know when 5 players from St. Aug have made it to the NFL, out of that high school, and most of any high school in the state that are still active. There you see.
Well, in fact, the most of any high school in America. No other high school has had more. There are 3 high schools in the United States that have 5 active LSU NFL alumni, and you see them: Martz, Rogers, Wiltz, Hall, and Thompson. Incidentally, all of them on the defensive side of the ball.
And you talk about Hall and Wiltz. They were on that 93 along with Thompson. They were on that 93 St. Aug football team that lost by 1 point in overtime to West Monroe. So St. Aug, very proud of their alumni, and you're checking out the football games tomorrow on TV.
Yeah.
You'll see a few of those guys.
Yeah, you will. They may not be wearing purple, but they have come through these venues. Incidentally, St. Aug suffering 2 defeats this year. One was in week 2 to John Curtis. That was an overtime loss. And then late in the district season to Rummel, as St. Aug finished 5-1. How about this for Rummel? Now, Rummel has beaten Shaw this year. Rummel has beaten St. Aug. Rummel, which was bounced out of the playoffs, potentially could have beaten the 2 teams that are playing for the championship next year if St. Aug is able to next week if St. Aug is able to come back and knock off West Monroe. It's kind of funny when you get your wins are important, aren't they?
Makes it impressive. It shows you what a great job Hank Tierney and the staff did at Shaw. Game planning for the second time around. Always tough to beat a team twice, and that is exactly what Shaw was able to accomplish. Rummel, tough to win twice. Shaw made it happen that way.
Incidentally, a couple of congratulations to pass along. First to the Gina Giants in LaSalle Parish. In their history, they had never won a playoff game and had gone to very few, but they won 2 playoff games this year. It's the first 2 playoff victories in the history of LaSalle Parish. And how about the Menard Eagles in Alexandria, going from 1-9 last year into a 9-1 regular season, and also winning a playoff game. We'll be back with the third quarter kickoff. West Monroe leads 10-0 over St. Aug. Let's take a 2-minute local timeout on the Wright and Percy Sports Network.
Augustine.